I was kind of just not sure that I wanted to do anything anytime soon because I just didn't find anything that I liked. And had read a lot of scripts and just nothing. And I read it, and then I read the character of Charlie Billingsley, and he said, let's try to see if we can do something with this.
I didn't really know him. I'd seen pictures of him and probably seen him on TV, but he came in, and I thought, you know, I'd seen him as this really good-looking country star. Whatever image I had of Charlie, Tim walked in, and I just said, that feels like it to me.
He's a tough guy, and he's from the region. And in the movie, he's, in fact, a very unsympathetic character because he's very abusive and lost. He's just a bad dad.
What is wrong with you? This is a guy that life wasn't going like he wanted it. And then his son, you know, he wanted to live his dreams through his son because it didn't work out for him. And his son wasn't living up to his expectations either. So he was seeing his life fall apart all over again in his son. So he's just a guy that was dealing with a lot of turmoil, especially inner turmoil. He was dealing with himself more than anything.
Are you sure he's part of your gene pool, Charlie?
You want to say that again?
You know, he really has a good sense of underplaying his acting and not pushing it too hard, not kind of making it really over the top. And that's a part that, you know, easily could have been over the top, you know, intense alcoholic dad. You know, you just look at that on paper, it's like, oh, I've seen that a million times.
What is so hard about holding on to the damn football?
I just thought I could do the character. I thought it was a character that I could relate to. You know, growing up being an athlete in Louisiana, and you know, I played baseball, basketball, football, everything, and especially Little League and stuff, and seeing the parents and being around that environment. And I figured I could take probably about 10, 15 people that I knew growing up and combine them into that one guy. I don't want this to sound like an apology or anything, but I didn't mean half the things I said.
Tim was able to find his own way into it so that it feels really good, and you get this guy. He's not all anything. He's not all bad. He's not just a dumb old drunk.
Well, the biggest difference between a movie and performing live and being on stage is the instant feedback that you get. The energy that you get from the crowd when you're playing live is something that transfers into your energy when you're performing. And it gives you more energy, and it gives you more fire. And when you're playing in a movie and there's nothing there, you don't have any of that energy, you have to find it.
Hell of a game.
Give me the keys.
You can't be that animated, you know. That's the hardest thing, I think, for somebody who does what I do to go in and do a movie, is really not being as animated as you are on stage. Loved it. I love playing ball. I mean, for a while I thought that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life until I realized how little I was once I got out of high school. But you know, I loved it. I was a good athlete. I had played on a great basketball team when I went to start high school. We had a great record.
Tim McGraw was an athlete. He did play high school football, and he didn't make it. You know, he certainly didn't make it on the level that he wanted to make it.
I was a wide receiver and defensive back, and you know, and a good thing about playing both ways and playing both of those positions is I got nailed quite a bit as a wide receiver by a defensive back, so I got to turn the tables and get to give it back a little bit.
Tim was great because when I was in, you know, Minnesota on the farm, all of Tim's music was our, tractor music. We had one, radio station in the town that was country, so I'd been familiar with Tim since, I was really young.
Garrett and Pete, of course, and Billy Bob, being, a new actor coming in, especially being a musician, going into a movie set and trying something different, to have people like Garrett and Billy Bob and Pete that really befriend you, and you get to hang out with them, you got to be good friends with them. It made things a lot more comfortable for me on set.
Actually, there's only one moment that Tim McGraw and I have together in the movie, but we wanted so desperately to have scenes together, and we kept begging Pete to give us a scene together, to write one for us. But we'll get another one together sometime.
Me and Billy Bob threw the ball around a couple of times. Actually, we scored a touchdown on some of the kids there, so that was pretty amazing. A bunch of old guys going out there with cowboy boots on, man, and making a touchdown.
Yeah, buddy. Him being Tim, I could sit next to him and I could sing his songs back to him, and I would sit him down and I'd sing some songs or whatnot, and I'd blare his new CD in my trailer so everybody on the lot would hear it.
He treated us real well. His last day, he hired some people in to come cook us some crawfish and catfish, and we all enjoyed that and had a good time.
My assistant, Dane DeVilliers, his dad, Tanny DeVilliers, Sometimes when we have a function, we always bring Tanny up because he cooks crawfish, he boils crawfish and fries catfish, but he almost set the place on fire. He put the turkeys into the vat, and then the oil spilled over and caught everything on fire, and the whole side of the tent was going up. It was pretty hilarious, but it worked out. Everything was fine.
Tim and I are friends. We were friends before we shot the movie, and he's going to make a really great actor. I always had a feeling about him, and it turned out to be true.
Charlie Billingsley, you know, was a guy that would have loved to have been a rock star or a country star, and probably would love Tim McGraw, you know, and Tim just seemed to have it.
Let me tell you something. You're a man. You understand me?
I would never see myself giving up music to become an actor. This is something that I have a lot of respect for the people that do this, even more respect than I ever had after doing it, and seeing how it does and seeing how good you really have to be good at this. And yeah, I hope I can do it again, but music's always going to be my day job.